Now you're probably scratching your head right now. What does that even mean, Rhett? All I'm seeing is turmoil. All I'm seeing is changes happening with less than 30 days from this new person. I'm gonna call him Great Orange. His start or restart, I should say, in the office. It is his second term, after all. But what I'm gonna say is this: if you look at the history of America, and let's treat America like a corporation, and if I'm not mistaken, it probably really is one, you would understand that this is probably one of the greatest rebrands I've ever seen, but it's nothing new. It's just shocking and extremely polarizing. But let's go through it. First, one of the first things Donald Trump did in taking office was eliminating DEI. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, that DEI elimination did a few things. One, it told people of color, you will not be counted in relation to competitiveness. In essence, it's saying that we live in a post-racial society, and if a post-racial society is where we live, then you have to understand they're saying the playing field is exactly equal. That's what's being stated. That by itself is not only not a rebrand, it is just America saying we're doing a reset, right? Remember, when the first term was called affirmative action, and when that happened, many people who were not of color definitely had an issue or took umbrage with the fact that they felt that they were being excluded now from opportunities based on racial inclusion. So when you eliminate DEI, which is the byproduct of an early affirmative action effort, what you're really saying is, well, there's no reason for this anymore. Everybody's equal. We're all on the same playing field. Now, I say that to say the following. When America first rebranded itself was probably when it elected the first black president. Shout out to Barack Hussein Obama. I say his first, middle, and last name because none of them sound American in the sense of how America has initially branded itself. Barack, I can't think of anything more un-American in a name if you're not paying attention to how America has evolved. Hussein, clearly there's always been a stigmatization around Islamic or other religious disciplines not Christian. And Obama obviously is a salute to his African heritage. Why am I saying all of this? Because the shock to the system of a Barack Hussein Obama presidency has been long and hard. 8 years of a presidency that honestly, I don't think most people even believed we would ever have a black president. There's been too many songs, specifically in the hip hop genre, that have cemented that fact. But when that occurred, what people need to understand is that progression and progressiveness is definitely siloed to a certain faction of America. And there are many people who did not want that to happen. But when it did happen, what it did was it unlocked potential in the minds of young people, specifically of color, that anything is possible. My son believes that anything is possible because the first president of his birth was Barack Obama. He's 13 on the way to 14. And for 8 years of his life, he only saw a president that looked like him. Now, you got to think about that really deeply when talking about what's happening right now, right? He's only known someone other than a white person. I'm sorry, he's only known a white person, excuse me, in a position of power of the free world for 5 years of his life. Now, at my age, that's preposterous, right? Barack Hussein Obama was a blessing of representation for me. But for my son, that's normal. And that's where the rebrand begins. Donald Trump and what he's doing is that he understands that children who have no color lines and are just free and open understand that anything is possible across anybody's culture. And what he doesn't enjoy is the thought that that is actually what's happening in the future for children and for other people. So if we're going to create this narrative of a post-racial America, in essence, he's saying prove it, which is not a rebrand. It's on brand for America.